Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggaeboyz Commentary. This is the channel where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football, men's, women's team, futsal team, beach soccer team. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. So, we got some news this morning, and it's not the news that we necessarily wanted to hear. And why is that in particular? Well, a reggae girl, a player of Jamaican heritage, who has Jamaican heritage, qualifies to play for Jamaica through her father, has accepted a call up to play for England. England, as we know, won the European Championships quite recently and have had a fantastic 2022. They have called up a squad for their World Cup qualifiers on September 3 against Austria, in Austria, and against Luxembourg on September the 6th. Now, England have been phenomenal in World Cup qualifying already. They have played 8 games and they've won 8 games, 24 points. They're 5 points clear of second position. They need to finish at the top of the group to qualify for the World Cup in Australia and New Zealand of next year. So basically, if they can avoid defeat to Austria, then they're going to the World Cup. That's all they have to do. So we can see that as a result of this, as a result of what has transpired, that a couple of new faces have entered the fold. And this is concerning because we saw Ellen White for England retire quite recently and midfielder Jill Scott. So what does that mean right now? It means that Lauren James, former Manchester United player, now Chelsea player, has been called up to represent England. Now, here's the thing though. This is not the first time she received an English call-up. The last time was at camp, but these are competitive games against Austria and Luxembourg. So that tells you everything that you need to know about this call-up right here for Lauren James, the 20-year-old forward who hasn't got a lot of playing time at Chelsea. At Manchester United, she was developing, growing, nurturing her talent, getting the game time that she needs. But last season at Chelsea, she only played a handful of appearances. Yes, Chelsea are the better club in women's football. However, she wasn't getting the game time that I felt that she needed. And now she's accepted an England call-up, and now she'll be part of the England squad for the upcoming games against Austria and Luxembourg. So that is where things are at the moment for this team. Let me show you the squad that has been called up by Weigman, the English coach that guided the English team towards the title. So this is the English team quality unit that has been called up, the likes of Lucy Bronze, who has done fantastically well outside of the UK, Demi Stokes, Jamaican heritage player, Georgia Stanway, who for me could be the best female football player in the world in the next 2 or 3 years. Kira Walsh, good talent. Katie Zellum at Manchester United have been impressed with what she has been able to produce. And as you can see right here, Lauren James. Nikita Paris, of course, Jamaican heritage, but born in Merseyside. So, Lauren James. Lauren James has been called up to represent England. So that is where we are right now. It's disappointing, to be honest with you. Really, really disappointing to see how things have transpired in this sort of vein, because under the tutelage of Hubert Busby, he was in dialogue with the agent of Lauren James, deep dialogue with the agent, and basically his words were along the lines of, let's get another season for Lauren James under the belt playing professionally, and then we take things from there. So Jamaica was in the mind of Lauren James. However, with Hubert Busby not in the picture, I don't think that the likes of Vin Blaine or Lauren Donaldson followed up on this process. And of course, England came into the picture and they have called up a talented player in Lauren James, a player that I believe would have given Jamaica an additional cutting edge going into the World Cup as Jamaica seeks to get to that round of 16 stage of the competition. That's something for us to process right there. So, what does this mean now? Well, if you look at Jamaica's forward line right now, let's have a look at the options, shall we? And then we can break down your thoughts about if it is good enough. Do Jamaica even need a Lauren James? You all can let me know your thoughts about that as well. But when you look at the forward line right now, okay, let's consider the options. And I'm talking both strikers, wingers, forwards, all right? Khadija Bunny Shaw, Jodie Brown, Olofala Shade Adama or Shade Adama Kayla McCoy, Maria Gray, Tierney Wiltshire, Kiki Van Zanten, Tiffany Cameron, Chena Matthews, Michaela Days. 10 attackers right there. You put Lauren James into the mix. You have 11 right there. If you want to add Trudy Carter, you could, because she can play in the front three. Paige Bailey Gale. That's a number of players right there. And the truth is, all of them are not going to make the plane to Australia and New Zealand. And this is not pessimism. This is just for the sheer balance of the squad. It's just not going to happen, because you have to think about the defensive options as well in a 23-player squad. So not all of those names that I mentioned will be on the plane to Australia and New Zealand. You'll probably have 10 of them make the plane, 10 or 11, but not all of them. And that is the reality of the situation. But could Lauren James have added into that mix? Absolutely, in my opinion. Her penetration in the final third, the way how she carries about her duties as an attacker, would have given Jamaica that additional boost, that push to be able to get to the round of 16 of the competition. But Jamaican football fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that without Lauren James, well, put it this way, if Lauren James doesn't feature against Austria and doesn't feature against Luxembourg for England, she's still eligible to represent Jamaica. So let's see how the September window goes. But I ask you this, can Jamaica get to the round of 16 of the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand next year? Can they get to the round of 16 without a Lauren James? My simple answer to that is the possibility exists. We need to see what the group is like, because as we know, it's going to be the October FIFA ranking that's going to determine the seedings and points, quality points, that is, in relation to which pot Jamaica will be in and which team they could play and could avoid, and so on and so forth. So that's something that we're going to have to pay in mind and pay close attention to. But what are your thoughts? Lauren James representing England, is it disappointment? Do you think Jamaica needs her? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about that. Let me know how you really feel. And don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boyz Commentary